to the EV, ride around my city. You should come ride with me, yeah.
Hey guys, this is Doc Huffpower coming to you from my studio, Fifth Wall Films, here in Alvin, Texas. We haven't done one of these lives in a long time, so forgive any bugs we encounter. But today I thought this was kind of a cool opportunity. I have a guest here at the studio that, man, he's done a lot for dentistry, and he's a good personal friend. And I just wanted to share his story and share some of the things he's doing with you, and tell you how you can get involved in what I think is one of the healthiest movements in dentistry. So I'm Dr. Christopher Huffpower, and my guest today is Dr. Keanu Shaw. Dr. Shaw?
Thank you for having me on the show today.
I don't know, man. Anytime you want to come out, thank you for flying out to the studio. For those of you who aren't familiar with how this works, our studio is in Alvin, Texas, and we film everything here in-house. So for guests who come on to the podcast, it's a little bit of a hardship. They have to travel out here, way out to the boonies. You know, hopefully they can make some vacation plans to head out to the Gulf of Mexico or something else here in Houston or nearby to make it a fun trip. But this is the way we do things now. So, Dr. Shaw, tell them a little bit about yourself, about your past, about you as a clinician, and then we're going to get a little bit deeper into what you're doing now and why you're doing it.
Well, first of all, it's been quite a experience. You're a great host. You make it very comfortable. The studio is amazing. It's one of the best setups I've seen over the years. And thank you again for making time to do this. My name is Keanu Shaw. I'm an oral implantologist, dentist. I place a lot of implants. I do a lot of dentistry. Now, this is my 20th year of clinical practice coming up. And I practice part-time, and the other half of my time I spend on the business side of things. And I'm here to talk with you about a host of different projects we have been doing over the past decade plus that have sort of flourished into commerce now. And I look forward to answering any questions you have and maybe clarify our mission and vision and things of that sort.
So, guys, for those of you who haven't seen a live before, I don't know where you've been living under which rock, but the way we do things is all you have to do is if you have a question, go ahead and drop it in the comments down below. Please go ahead and give this video a like and help to share it with other people, because I think some of the information that we're going to share here is going to be pretty useful for our dentists in this group. Now, Dr. Shaw, you've created something called Global Summits, and you've created the Top Docs. And is it the Top Docs or Top 100 Docs? I never can remember which.
It's Top 1,000 Docs
Top 1,000 Docs now. So talk to us a little bit about the first initiative, which I believe was the Top 1,000 Docs, and then about the Global Summit. And then we're going to talk a little bit about why you created these things. So first off, talk to us about the journey to creating the Top 1,000 Docs.
So the Global Summits Institute was founded about a decade ago, and the mission and vision was to empower clinicians by the works of other clinicians. So the hashtag Doctor to Doctor will lead you to us on all social media platforms. And there is about 24 projects that happen under the Global Summits Institute, which are each led by a different doctor. The idea is to create a closed-loop system where we get to collaborate on administrative, financial, and academic fronts. And our vision is to spark a paradigm shift, a global one, using this approach. And at some point, what started with 5 doctors a decade ago expanded into 163 countries now, with 1,000 doctors participating in this ecosystem. We thought that, hey, looking at history, and history repeats itself, some of the things that have happened that were of profound nature, such as putting 100 scientists in a room and coming out with an atomic bomb, what would happen if we took 100 capable doctors into a room and see what they can do for healthcare? And these ideas and our wisdom, our lifelong friendships come through this network of individuals, these 1,000 people who are either innovators, educators, or positioned very well in the supply chain, or have some kind of an authority in the healthcare system to impact a change for the better that benefits doctors and patients alike. So out of this first initiative, we decided to do the first class of the world's top 100 doctors. It's kind of like the Federal Reserve. It's neither Federal or Reserve. It's a sort of we're all equal we see each other as equals, as doctors, and we created a family environment. These 100 doctors came in, and at the height of COVID, they sat back and gave lectures about their top techniques. These are the people that wrote the books we went to school with, and they started talking about all of the different techniques and projects that they're working on that would be of benefit to other doctors. That initiative, the first class with the 100 doctors, got over 2 million dental clinicians and support staff to tune in at the height of COVID. And since then, it's been well over 5 million that have tuned into our educational content, our podcast. We call it a podinar. It's a mix between a podcast and a webinar, where you establish rapport with the clinician, and then comes their presentation, their webinar portion, where they inform doctors of something that's of benefit to them. Now, there's 24 projects now going on under the Global Summits Institute. I believe you're talking about 2 of them. But the first step for us is always the nomination form. If you go to top100doc.com and you go to the nomination section, you fill that out, that's an entry into this entire global network, which is ever-expanding.
What would an ideal nomination look like? What kind of doctors are you looking for to be involved in this global effort to make medicine better for all of us?
The ones that have the Hippocratic system, the oaths in the back of their mind, that are selfless, that have done something of value for others. Again, I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. We're both doctors. We have the same vision, and we live similar lives. What we're looking for are individuals that have some kind of a market power, have done something for the profession. Be it a young guy that comes out of school who's got certain skills in social media or has certain skills in tech, or an older gentleman that has wisdom, or an older female colleague of ours that has wisdom, that's been in the profession, that wants to contribute and pass on the knowledge that he or she may have. So there's no particular criteria. This goes in front of a committee of regents, and they select the individuals from the applicant pool. We have our 2026 class coming up, so I strongly urge anyone that's interested to advance their career to the next level. And if you talk to some of the individuals that are part of this movement, they will tell you how their careers have changed. Suddenly they came out of a small practice somewhere in the world. They're plugged into the entire world through us. And it's a family type environment that we have created, which is very productive. People are doing this out of their love for the profession and what we intend to achieve in the long run. So anyone can apply. There are no costs involved at any stage of the process. It's not about money. This is about a goodwill effort. This is about giving back. This is about bringing us together, which we lack in this industry. As a consequence, you have a lot of third parties that take advantage of us. Until we unite in some shape, or form to essentially fight back. So I encourage you to come and take a look. I think you can go to top100doc.com. The first step is to fill out the nomination form. It's right in the center of the page. You nominate, and then we do the election. Then you get into the network, and then you'll see the tremendous amount of doors that open up in every direction.
Well, I know for a fact some of the conversations that we've had, you guys have had some pretty high-level conversations with different government officials. Some of the dentists that are working with this program are pretty well connected. I mean, you've spoken to RFK in the new administration. You've got advisor to the royals in England, if I'm not mistaken. Is it England?
Both Britain and both UK and Saudi Arabia, we're talking to very high level. We're talking to multiple governments. I recently got back from the Latin America, the Caribbeans. We meet regularly with high officials of these administrations, and it's usually about healthcare. So there's going to be a lot of surprises in London when we are doing our next summit. And global summits, where the name came from, I should probably clarify that a little bit. if you want to be involved in everything, you need to be in the conference business, okay? If you want to have influence in the way things are going, you have to have some kind of area where people can learn, network, interchange ideas. So that's why we started it as the Global Summits Institute, because that's our core competency. We bring people together every year. For the last decade, we have held one global summit on the hottest topic that's going on in dentistry and medicine at the time. So next year, it's going to be about AI. This year, we had it in Sardinia, where we had the Doctors World Gala, which was very well attended. So global summits is our core competency, and putting these kind of events together, from which all of the innovation and networking and collaboration stem from.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you think that you need to address that are going on in dentistry right now, both here and abroad. And I'm going to actually start off by throwing you, hopefully not a hand grenade, because it's something I think is very important. Is there any plan to use this consortium that you're creating, this kind of influential mob of dentists, to help dentists to fight the low reimbursement rates and the tricks and the skullduggery of the insurance companies? Because it seems to me that of the organizations we have out there, we have the ADA and we have the AGD, but neither one of them, in fact, ADA is actually actively taking money from the insurance companies. So they're obviously not an ally for us in this fight. Is there a chance that you guys can help to address those iniquities from these insurance companies, from these third-party payers, that perhaps will help dentists here in the States?
I wanted to clarify, in 2022, after proving the model in dentistry to work, we expanded into pharmacy, optometry, chiropractic, medicine, ethics, as well as we have ethicists on our teams, as well as medical philosophy. The number one complaint that we hear from doctors, and which we seek that information, is this insurance problem. Insurance companies are not our friends. They, when I started practicing 20-some years ago, the rates were about the same than they are today for a crown, just generally speaking, which is mind-boggling, given inflation and all of that. And if you go into a group and you talk to doctors, 9 out of 10 is going to tell you, I don't like this insurance thing. They're marginalizing me. They're diagnosing for me, and all of these problems that we encounter. We believe the equalizer to all this mess that has happened in the last 5 decades in the healthcare professions, where patients don't trust us anymore. They think we're after their money more so than their health, is artificial intelligence. We think that's going to be the big equalizer and give us the tools we need to get these third parties out of our operatories and out of our practices. Hence the event that's coming up in London, this global event in the heart of the world, to attract all the brilliant minds in finding technological solution to solve this problem. Now, the insurance companies spend billions recruiting individuals that sit behind computers to fight your claims, work that you have done legitimately based on your knowledge and information.
Well, they also use AI, we'd be fighting fire with fire.
Well, actually, if there are certain standards and both sides are using AI to confirm, then there's going to be a very clear pattern of what's acceptable and what's not. Number one. Number two, AI can replace these third parties for pennies. Their services were great. They had this contention for the last 2-3 decades that their services are absolutely necessary because they help doctors with administrative tasks, or they take the burden of the business equation away from them. But now, really sitting down and looking at it, it's like, hey, your services are no longer needed. We can replace you for pennies with artificial intelligence, and we can remove your politics and your baggage out of the equation and start focusing again on the patient-doctor relationship, what we're here to do. So AI can literally replace all the third parties, regulators, insurance companies, management groups, be it dental or medical, managed care, all this nonsense that has infiltrated every aspects of our lives can be placed for pennies on a dollar with AI. So the individuals that come up with these ideas, they should be empowered. They should be celebrated. So that's what we intend to do in London. And we're seeing a lot of this AI innovation come in. And it's making a very significant impact. Doctors aren't going anywhere. Don't be fooled by this hype. Nobody wants to see robots. Nobody believes that AI can hold a medical license. So what can we do? Yet. But if our corrupt politicians change the law, that's why we have to be very vigilant. We have to take the lead on the discussion of AI in healthcare. Now, politicians shouldn't be coming out of DC, should be coming out of London. So it's very important that we stay on top of that so they don't pull the rug on us. You need a doctor to oversee this, to make the final diagnosis, to make the final determination. And that's what we're here to do. We're building a massive infrastructure around this to do just that.
Yeah, I just thought of it. I wish I had thought of it last evening. I could have made this introduction. The first gentleman I had on whenever we relaunched the podcast, he's working with large vision systems. Not sure if you're familiar, but I know you're pretty up on AI. And his intention is to streamline the flow and to reduce the human component in the dental practice and reduce costs. But ultimately, his goal is actually to create a substitution for the payer system, whereby they use their AI to look at claims, and they act as the middlemen between the patient, the doctor, and the insurance company, so that whenever they look at a claim, they run an algorithm and they say this claim will be paid, and then they just pay the doctor immediately, and they get the check from the insurance company. So they are the ones who are going to be accepting payment from the insurance company. So it kind of removes us from that boondoggle, which and he thinks that their algorithms are robust enough that this is going to be a really good service that they can provide to doctors. Obviously, they're going to make money somehow, either through you paying for the product or through them taking a small portion of payment as a service fee. But you've also got no front desk then, or at least no insurance coordinator. I'll make that introduction today before you leave, if I can.
I would love to hear that. The reality of the fact is insurance companies were founded in the back of the grocery store, and decades later they're dictating diagnosis, which is sad because in reality they go to governments and employers and say, hey, we have this coverage, you pay us $2,000 regardless if these patients use it or not, and we'll make this available for them, whatever that amount might be. And there are smarter ways of going to governments and going to employers and saying, hey, we want to have coverage, instead of this mess that's so corrupted and out of date.
It's definitely a big problem. I know a good deal about the history of insurance companies. They started in the 1970s. It was actually originally the longshoremen in California who started the insurance company. It was an indemnity plan, meaning that the amount of money they had was the amount of money they got. If they had medical bills, they were directly reimbursed. And they had a $2,000 limit on that coverage. And so as time went on, insurance companies inserted themselves into that doctor-patient relationship, and they said, hey, look, we'll take on the burden of, paying for this treatment directly so that you don't have to pay out of pocket and to being reimbursed from us. So Aflac still does something very similar, but they generally are used as a secondary insurance. So in 1970, $2,000 in today's money, the last time that I ran this number, which was 2 years ago, was $13,750. So we're talking about a dramatic decrease in the value of this service. And so instead of as a supplementary payer, the insurance companies have repositioned themselves to dentists as an advertiser, which that's really what your insurance write-offs are. They're a fee you're paying for advertising. How's that working out for you guys? Do you feel like you're actually getting value? Most dental practices should be paying between 3 and 10%, depending on their growth needs for their practice. You're paying 35 to 40%. That's just unsustainable.
It's a cycle of self-destruction that we are allowing to happen, and that's why we're doing this innovation section also in London, is to look at all of this deal flow that's coming in of ideas, because ideas move the pencil. It's not necessarily money that makes a difference. It's ideas that drive economies. So we hope to see these ideas coming out of doctors. I always recommend to them, when you're in a medical or a dental practice on your day and you're practicing and you see something that annoys you, that is cumbersome, you sit down and start thinking about a solution, and with AI or robotics or something that's of benefit, because the vast majority of your colleagues are probably encountering the same darn problem. So we look forward to those ideas, and you're going to find your best friends here that will help you enable it and commercialize it through our networks, devoid of third-party influence.
As a person who has created a lot of different things in dentistry, we kind of talked about some of my projects last evening at supper. I find that there's two places where you hemorrhage money. The first is not actually R&D, it's access, getting access to the right people. And you've kind of shortcutted that process because of the number of people that you have in this group that are so well connected. You're going to still have to pay to make sure that you meet standards. You're still going to have to make sure that you test HIPAA compliance and cybersecurity and things like that on, let's say, a piece of software. But you won't have that cost of access anymore because you can bring things directly to the decision makers. Kind of like whenever that rep comes into your office, bypassing the front desk with your gatekeepers, right? And going directly to the doctor's office to sell them a piece of equipment. You guys are going to be able to, in effect, do the same thing in government, which I think is a really powerful move.
Very smart. For the past 20 years that I've been brand building, last 10 on this project, people always ask me, why are you not taking money for any efforts? Why have you declined every advertiser that has come onto the Global Summits Institute, offered us tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years, these multi-billion-dollar, multinational entities that got rejected by us because we wanted to keep it clean. It wasn't money that we were after. You can do business building two ways. You can chase the money, or you can chase the value. When you chase the value, now we are in a position, 20 years later, we have built a brand that's recognized across the globe. There are no doors that we cannot break down. If you want to get to the president of, Bosnia, Czechoslovakia, anywhere, we can get to them through our dentists, through our doctors, because they end up in our chairs. We know them, we have access to them all. So there are no doors that we can't break down, be it at the ADA or ISO or ANSI or anybody involved in any aspect of the healthcare industry, which is all of them, regulators, dental boards. We can get to them all because, at the end of the day, there is no healthcare without doctors, but there's always going to be healthcare without them. So they need us, not the other way around. Once we start realizing that, we will be back behind the steering wheel, and they will be in the back seat in the trunk of the car versus what's going on right now.
Well, there's only three things that are needed for healthcare to take place: someone to provide it, a problem to be solved, and a person who has the problem.
So the big question comes, if they're never been in the equation of the patient-doctor relationship, why are they dominating it now? Who are they? We should look at them as nuisance. When you're a guest at a party and you don't behave, somebody's going to come ask you to leave. And I think we're getting to the point where we need to start thinking about asking some non-behaving parties to leave the party. It's not for them. You want to profiteer. You don't want to go to medical or dental school to learn what this profession is all about. You're just here to make money. Go somewhere else. There's a real estate industry. There's energy. There is automotive. There's a lot of places you can make money, but this is not the place to be chasing profit. This is about humans. It's about healthcare. It's about certain oaths that we take. And without understanding that and going to school for 20 years like we did, you do not understand it. You don't know what you're talking about, even if you're sincere. So, having lawyers and bureaucrats and government agencies and accreditation bodies and insurance companies and management groups all have their opinion should be completely irrelevant. The opinion of the doctor matters. So we only heed to what doctors say. We don't answer to any government. We don't answer to any party. I forbid it. And we only answer to doctors. That's it.
So changing lanes a little bit, let's talk a little bit about what you guys are doing in London, when this is taking place, so that people can begin making plans, because it's a big trip, right? Who do you guys have speaking so far? I know that you're still getting your speaker lineup sorted out.
We have 45 speakers already boarded, and there's going to be close to 100 speakers in different tracks. But you have some very big names like the president, co-founder, and CEO of the Physician Society of Entrepreneurs is coming. The founder of AMET, the original AI Med organization that started putting these conferences 12 years ago. Dr. Anthony Chong, who's a cardiologist, also the founder of the American Board of Artificial Intelligence in Medicine. And you have the likes of Dr. Gary Goldman, who's the founder of the Global Health Impact Network and Funds for the innovators that are looking to get funding on their projects. So he's an MD, DDS, MBA, so he knows both sides of the equation. And this event is to build a bridge between the dentist and the medical doctor, something that we have been lacking for a while. But if you go to the speaker section, you'll see world-renowned speaker after speaker. For our colleagues that are here in the US, I'd really recommend to get this London thing off your bucket list if you haven't already done so. It's a tax write-off for you to come out there, pick up to 40 CE units, network with some of the finest doctors in the world, and see a lot of innovation and where this AI is taking us in the healthcare industry. So a highly valuable proposition to come out to London. So you're going to see the likes of the AI Intelligent Care Alliance. You're going to see the Arab League for artificial intelligence. You're going to see these groups that I mentioned, pick up some AGD PACE credit, and spend a nice fun weekend with us, including the pre-symposium events and the parties and all of the fun and networking that will come along with this event. A very unique event. It's the bridge event between medical and dental. We're entering the era of predictive analysis, where dentists are essentially more important to healthcare now than the medical side of things, because we see these patients twice a year. We get their health history, we plug it into AI, and we know what referrals they need for preventative care. So we have to be vigilant in creating these relationships with the medical industry. That's why this event is getting a lot of steam around the world, because medical doctors know it and dentists know it. We need that bridge, and we need it now. So I really look forward for you guys to come out, spend the weekend with us, and reap the benefits of being part of this movement.
So for those of you who are watching this right now and experiencing some lag issues, not sure where the lag is coming from. The internet connection is really blazing fast out here, but this is the first time that we've done this setup, and so my delay may not be set correctly between the microphone and the video. So what we will be doing is taking a pre-recorded sample of this and dropping it into Facebook so that you can watch the entire thing without having stuttering, sputtering, and spindling and mutilating. Do you think the younger people will understand that joke?
Yes, certainly.
So how can they get involved?
So
I know you've already covered the website, but I want to make sure for anyone who's joining late that they know where they can go.
So it depends on what their desires are. There's 10 partners. It's a unique event. Okay, we have our main podium sessions for medical and dental, where we're gonna work through all the speakers and their the techniques and concepts and innovations and so forth. It's a different kind of evidence. AI is not based on 20 years of research. It's all new. So it's companies and innovations that are taking the stage. If you are a medical doctor that wants to just go to the Society of Physician Entrepreneurs or AMET or anything like that, then at the time of registration, you'll have a menu of choosing what events you want to participate in. Again, each room is led by a different doctor from that organization. The kickoff of the event is the Healthcare Intelligence Board, which I'm very excited about. It's a body composed of individuals from leading organizations from across the world who are going to talk about governance, advocacy, policy, regulation, and accreditation, and things of that nature that we need to implement into the artificial intelligence world in healthcare. The event kicks off with that. But depending on what your desires are, maybe you have an innovation that you want to pitch. There's a pitch event where you go and there are investors there, and there's a group of 8 or 9 doctors who will review these applications and implement them. Maybe you just want to go to the exhibit hall and see all the new innovations that are currently out, and see what would fit your practice or what improvements are coming for these innovations. Maybe you want to go to the Hippocratic award ceremony that's happening on the first night, where there's going to be an oath taken towards preserving the Hippocratic oaths, and also in regards to artificial intelligence, where you're going to have a lot of high-profile individuals. Maybe you want to just come out and network and meet some royals and meet some high-profile dentists that are educators that you always wanted to meet. A lot of them are going to be there. So I highly recommend you look into it and see what your desire is and what the purpose of it is. Or you just might want to just come out and hang out with your colleagues for 3 days in the middle of London and take your family to see all of the landmarks around there. It's really up to you and what your desires are. We're going to create it, and we hope you come to benefit from it. And that's the purpose of the event.
So if there is someone out there who, let's say they're a dentist, they have an idea, they've begun developing their company, they're ready to launch, how would they become involved as a sponsor or someone in the hall where you have all of your vendors?
So we just opened up a few days ago, and there's already 22 sponsors and exhibitors coming in, and they're coming in on a daily basis more frequently. And Dr. Alderman is currently, there's a doctor that's leading a different division, and there are many divisions, at least 24 of them going on with different leaders at this event. For the exhibition, Dr. Alderman would be the right person to speak with, but if you go onto the website and you go to that globalsummit.amores.it, and you scroll down a little bit, it gives you an idea of what sponsorships look like. And they're very modest. You're going to have a 10 by 10 booth. And since this is a networking event, it's not going to be in an exhibit hall. It's going to be around the entire event. So there's going to be maximum of interactions. And everybody that's going to be there is going to know you no matter where you're located. It's going to happen at the Leonardo Royal Tower and Bridge event. Ironically, London Bridge, medical, dental, AI Bridge, for the first time in history that we are building this way, is all going to happen right around that bridge. And, depending on where you're positioned in the hall, you're going to get the maximum amount of traffic you have. That will allow people to see your product. And you'll be surprised. It only takes one person to like your idea that has the resources or has the network to make it happen. There's going to be a lot of movers and shakers there, so the probability of you making a hit goes up drastically.
So they should reach out to Catherine Alderman to get involved in that then?
Absolutely. Dr. Alderman, she's also very well known in the business of dentistry side of things, and she is running the entire exhibit, and she's doing a very good job and is an amazing clinician an educator, so we're very happy to have her with us.
So for those of you who do have businesses that you would like to showcase at this new event in London, I believe it's 1 year from now. It's going to be in the summer, July?
Yes, a little bit less than a year. We're looking at June 27 to 28, plus June 26 being the pre-symposium scenarios. And it's coming up fast, 269 days.
So what I'll do is I'll make a comment down below. I'll tag Catherine, and all you have to do is find my comment that says, if interested in sponsorship, then all you have to do is comment below that. Catherine will be tagged in that comment. And if you're interested in signing up, the link should be appearing right above us in the stream. And again, I apologize for the lagging on this video. I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but I will be uploading this in its full, unlaggy, unstuttering form in just a few minutes.
Lovely. Thank you so much. We're very happy to be part of the Business of Dentistry podcast as well as the group, and look forward to our continued collaboration in the years to come. I would love to come back to the studio to do some amazing projects in the future with you if you permit it. Absolutely.
Well, you're always welcome. And if you're out there and you would like to be a podcast guest, you've got something that you want to say about dentistry, you'll have something you want to share about business management. Honestly, guys, we're even doing clinical now, just not in the group, only on the podcast and on these lives. So if you have a technique you'd like to share, something that you've come up with yourself that you think is going to really change the way that people do operative dentistry, do surgery, we'd welcome you to come as well. All you have to do is direct message me on Facebook, and I can chat with you a little bit about whether or not you're a great fit. We can get you out here to the studio and do an interview and get your voice out there. That's what this is all about. Until next time, Dr. Shaw, thank you so much for coming. And guys, thank you for tuning in to, take a look at what we're talking about. Till the next time, this is Doc. I'm out.
Switch that V6 for the EV. Ride around my city. You should come ride with me.